This is an ambitious plan for an unprecedented reality.
In a speech from the throne, the Liberals lay out their plan forward in this pandemic. It includes pledges to extend the wage subsidy, create up to 1 million jobs. The speech will face a confidence vote, and already the Conservatives have said that they will not support it. Joining me now, though, the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Chrystia Freeland. Nice to see you, Minister. Let me start with a couple of things that the Prime Minister said. Nice to see you. The Prime Minister today said that every Canadian who wants a test should be able to get a test, and quickly. That is certainly not happening now in many places across the country. People are obviously frustrated by that. What can the federal government do to fix that problem, Minister?
Well, as you know, Rosie, healthcare is a provincial responsibility, but I have a lot of sympathy for the provinces. This is really, really hard. We are fighting a global pandemic, and the second wave has come up upon us very, very fast. One of the reasons that it was so important to us to negotiate the Safe Restart Agreement in the summer was precisely to give the provinces the resources to get ready. $19 billion and $13 billion of that money was specifically for healthcare, including testing and tracing, PPE, and directly the healthcare system. So we are here to support the provinces. And the Prime Minister mentioned one other thing, which is the throne speech mentioned one other thing, which is we are going to create a special federal surge capacity to be able to come in and to help in parts of the country that need some extra support on testing and tracing.
Okay, the Prime Minister also said today that the federal government will, quote, have Canadians' backs, whatever it takes. So what does that mean? If things get bad again, if we don't take the message that we've heard both from him and Dr. Tam in the past couple of days, could you bring back CERB? Could you bring back the rent assistance program? Are there measures that are ending that might have to be brought back if we get into a bad second wave?
So first thing is, Rosie, let's not let that happen. Each one of us has a huge role to play. Dr. Tam was very clear yesterday that our destiny is in our own hands, and we can really stop this. We can flatten the curve again just by limiting our social interactions and by wearing our masks and social distancing. So please, let's all do that. The Prime Minister did say that the federal government will do whatever it takes to support Canadians, and the throne speech gave some specifics. We are extending the wage subsidy until the summer. We have already talked about how the CERB is going to be transformed into a more robust set of programs, some of them moving on to a more flexible EI, and then some new programs that are going to support people who don't qualify for EI and who need support now. You mentioned rent assistance, and the throne speech did talk about how we are going to extend support for small business.
So is the answer that the measures that were in place for an emergency are not going to happen again, that you've transformed them into something else? Is that what you're saying?
No, quite the contrary. What I said, or what I meant, what I was trying to say, Rosie, is we know that Canadians still need support. The support they needed in the spring, they need now, and it is highly possible that we're going to need a little more support in the coming months. Kids are going back to school. Winter is coming. And so that's why some, the support programs that I just referred to are going to continue.
Minister, I only have about 30 seconds, so you'll deal with that if you can. It's a hard question. But
sorry.
The Prime Minister said, he said many Canadians are wondering how we can afford everything that you laid out today, not just the response to the pandemic, but big programs. At what point can we no longer afford some of these programs that you've promised?
Rosie, I think the way to answer that question is to say, these are things we just can't afford not to do. The cost of failing to act is much, much greater today than the cost of acting. As it happens, we have the fiscal firepower to do it. We had a very strong fiscal position going into this crisis, and interest rates are really, really low, but the lowest actually in 100 years. The price the government is paying for our debt. So those are great foundations, but at the end of the day, we have to do this. The economic crisis and the healthcare crisis
but surely,
would be
surely,
far
Minister,
worse were the
surely,
government to not
surely,
be
Minister,
acting.
Surely, Minister, there's a stop point. Surely at some point you have to say enough is enough.
Do you know when COVID is going to end, Rosie?
No, but I don't know when spending is going to end either, Minister.
Well, I don't know when COVID is going to end either. What I do know is as long as we are fighting this global pandemic, we can't just down tools. We're going to have to be there, and we're going to have to keep on fighting, and fighting is going to cost money.
Okay, Minister, we didn't have enough time, but I appreciate you making the time today. Finance Minister and Deputy
Longer
Prime
next
Minister.
time, Rosie.
Indeed, Chrystia Freeland, thank you for that.